Hey guys, welcome to Lingua Marina. As you might have noticed, I've just come back from my vacation. So I feel really energized, ready to create more content for you, ready to share what I know about English with you, and share how English is improving my life every single day. Because remember, English is your instrument to help you achieve your goal. English is not your end goal. It's just something that empowers you to see the world, to explore the world, and to bring your expertise to people from different places across the world. And by the way, I was traveling. I went to Guatemala, I went to Honduras, I went to Panama, I went to Mexico, and I went to Belize. And everywhere I come, I got DMs from you guys saying, "Oh, Marina, you are in my country." And this is the most exciting thing. And every time I get a DM like that, I thank my English language for that because my English is actually helped me to connect with you guys. If you are watching from one of those countries, let me know in comment down below. I fell in love with every single country. I really like Panama just because I didn't expect it to be. Like, wow, all the high rise, it was really beautiful. I've already mentioned some country where I've been to. I've been to Honduras, and you are wondering maybe why I didn't say at, why I didn't say in. So today we are going to talk about those prepositions. I'm going to share some rule that people use to determine which preposition to use. So if you are ready, let's start, let's do it. Today we are going to talk about the most common preposition at, in, and on. So let's do a quick quiz. He lives 13 Long Street and you have to select either in, on, or at. I'm visiting my grandma on, in, at a hospital. I like traveling to, in, at a train. Now you're gonna get the right answer at the end of this video, but make sure you write your answer down so you can check yourself later. Now let's talk about some rules. The first rule is when we use at is used with a very exact place. Think small building, like something that is small you will always use at the door, at the hospital, at school, at the university, at the table, at the door. So something specific will always be at. But when you are thinking about big things like, I don't know, Panama or Guatemala or St. Petersburg or London, you will never say at because at only applies to smaller things. And London, Panama, Guatemala, those huge geographical locations. So you can't be at London. You are in London. But I'm at the desk, I'm at home, I'm at my studio, I'm at the bus stop, etc.
We use on with streets and avenues. I live on Park Avenue, on North Avenue, I live on Green Street. So on is always with the street, but please remember there are always exceptions. Like if you are talking about university and you are talking about campus, you say I live on campus. On campus. Campus is this location where you have your dorms, you have your classes, you have your restaurants, cafeterias, etc. So on campus would be an exception, but normally on is only used with streets. Now when we're talking about the street, there is another thing to remember when we have a number then we use at. I live at 13 Green Street, at 45 Dunstan Street. But when we don't have a number like I'm asking you, where are you right now and you are answering, I'm in the Market Street, you then give me a number and then use on Green Street. So at is used when we give the full address, street number, etc. On is when we just mention the street, and when we talk about something bigger than the street, we use the preposition in. So for example, you have different parts of town. We are having lunch in Chinatown or we are having lunch in Nob Hill. This is like a district here in San Francisco with cities as I already mentioned. I live in London. I live in New York. You live in New York. We have been in New York for 2 weeks. We are in Los Altos Hills. With states, I live in California, live in California. With parts of countries, my friends spend vacation in the south of India. With countries, I used to live in Russia, With continents, my sister is in Africa. I love being in Africa. So, to sum things up, we use at with specific location, on with less specific location like streets, and in with bigger location like cities, towns, countries, part of country.
If you're already feeling overwhelmed with what's going on and we haven't yet, start the most interesting part of the video where I'm going to explain more things about prepositions. I will highly recommend Bakol Grammar. Is all of you need. It's produced by my company called English by Certificate Teacher. This is a handbook that covers all the necessary topic in English grammar, and it has a chapter on preposition. It is chapter and 10 chapter on grammar rules. And it's not just rules. We all get bored by those boring textbooks. In this book, just like in novel, my video, we try to come up with different life hacks so you could understand everything better. And also, it's just not reading the material. We have include a lot of exercise so you could practice things because with grammar. It's like if you just watch the video and switch off and you don't practice. It goes way like, well, there is something in the back of your mind, but I really goes away. And because you are watching this video, first of all, you are getting 66% off of this workbook, and second, you are getting a free chapter on preposition. Because I really want to remember this preposition word that the learned. So if you are following below, you are going to be able to reach a free chapter, and 66% of the grammar is all you need workbook. This workbook has 16 chapter on the important topics of the English grammar. Done by my company, done by my linguist. We all love with passion for you guys. We have the passion for English, and again, the link is in descriptions below. 66% off and free chapter on English preposition, something that we cover in this video, so you all can practice. So you can print in your text and never ever forget. What's right? Why to use preposition in English, and this link is below. Now let's move a little feature with our preposition. I gave you some basic rules, but now we are gonna explore by more example. In also used when we are talking about an enclosed space, something that has a roof, something as a walls, in a car, in a box, in a building. I'm waiting for you in my car. They're in my car.
Now listen carefully right now. We are moving to on, and we use on with the bus. On a bus. And you might ask, Marina, but why in a car, but on a bus? Wait a minute. I'm gonna explain. The other words that we use on with are words that represent surface, like this table is a surface. On a table. Your floor is a surface. On the floor. Wall behind me is also surface. On the wall. We also use on when we talk about left and right. On the left, on the right, or vice versa. Depending on whatever you see. I think it's on the left for you, on the right for you. Next to or along the side of a river. For example, Cambridge is on River Cam. Now, interesting part, why in a car but on a bus? In is used with means of transportation where you can stand up. Oh my god, English, you are so complicated. So, you can stand up in the car. So you say in a car. You can stand up in a helicopter, but you can stand up on an airplane. So, on an airplane, in a helicopter, on a bus, in a car, in a taxi, because you can stand up in a taxi. I know guys, this is why I recommend having something like a grammar book, so you can refer to things or at least have a script of this video in front of your eyes. On a ship, on a boat, on a plane, on a train, we use on with a means of transport where we can stand up. We can stand up on a plane, we can stand up on a bus, we can stand up on a boat, and also maybe another hint, we use on with a means of transportation where there is no roof. On a horse, on a boat doesn't have a roof. Normally, you can have boat, but on a boat, so normally you don't have a roof on top of you when you are on the upper deck. On a bike, you can really stand up on a bike, but it doesn't have a roof, so it's on a bike.
Another thing that can be super confusing for you guys. Sometimes you hear in a hospital and sometimes you hear at a hospital. Both of those are grammatically correct, but guys, what they have a different meaning. So when you're saying in an hospital, that means you are patient, you are actually receiving treatment. I don't remember that. I just remember waking up in hospital. My uncle is in the hospital right now, receiving treatment for his I don't know acne. I don't know if you go to the hospital for that, but he broke a leg. He's in a hospital. Let's do that. I'm giving birth in a hospital, but you can also say I'm the hospital. But that won't mean that you're just doing something there, that you're not a patient. I'm visiting my uncle at the hospital because you are at the hospital, not as a patient receiving treatment. You are a guest visit. Your uncle in college, my brother, volunteered at a local hospital again. He wants a patient. This is why we ask the hospital. The same goes for school, museum, library, or any other institution. And we also use it with even I'm at this Lady Gaga concert. Okay guys, I hope it was super confusing for you. Again, if you want to make sure you remember all the preposition, make sure to follow the link below and download the free chapter of the grammar book. And if you feel like you are willing to invest in your education, just a little sum of money using 99 of the grammar book will be even cheaper for you because you're watching this video. And now let's check your test. I guess you already know everything, but let's do anyway. He left at 30 Long Street because we gave the full address. We gave the number and the street address. I visit my grandma at the hospital. Why? Because I'm not a patient. She's a patient. My grandma is in the hospital receiving treatment, and I visit her at the hospital because I'm not a patient. I like traveling on a train. You can also say I love traveling by train, but this is another topic for another video here, because we remember that we can stop up on the train we use on I like to travel on a train. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. The links are below, and you're not yet subscribed this channel, please hit subscribe button. And if your friends are learning English, please share this video with them because I think it's super useful. I'm very humble. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you very soon.